Marines are both good and bad against Zerglings. So in the early game, the Marine is very weak because for a small number of Marines, it's very easy to get surrounded by Zerglings. But in the mid game, when you have a bigger group of Marines, the Zerglings are not going to get a good surround. And the Marine DPS is very high, so the Zergling is often going to be killed before the Zergling even can attack. So overall, I think the Marine is an A-tier counter to the Zergling. Next, we have the Fire Bat, and this is very good. So number 1, the Fire Bat has a concussive attack. This attack deals 100% damage against small targets like the Zergling. The Fire Bat has a splash attack, very powerful against Zerglings. And the Fire Bat has a short range of 2, but that doesn't matter because the Zergling range is even shorter, so the Fire Bat is an S-tier counter against Lings. Next we have the Medic. This unit has 3 spells: Heal, Blinding Grenade and Restoration. So Restoration removes enemy buffs, useless against the Zergling. Blinding Grenade is also useless against the Zergling, but Heal is very good, of course, at supporting your Marine and Firebat forces. So we just have 1 useful spell, but this spell is very good. I'm going to put the Medic into B tier as a very good support unit. Next we have the Ghost, and the Ghost is not good. Number 1, so the Ghost has a concussive attack, which is good because this attack deals 100% damage against small targets like the Zergling, but still, even with the concussive damage, the Ghost damage output is very low, and also the Ghost has very little HP. It is a slow unit, it gets surrounded easily, and the spells of the Ghost are also useless because the lockdown spell is only applicable at mechanical units, and the nuke is also useless. Why would you nuke Zerglings? So the Ghost is very bad. I'll put it into C tier. Next we have the Vulture. This unit is very good. Number 1, the attack is concussive. It deals 100% damage against small units like the Zergling. Number 2, the Vulture is even faster than the Zergling when you take the Iron Thrusters upgrade. Number 3, the Vulture has much more range than a Zergling, and each Vulture comes with 3 Spider Mines, and the Spider Mines one-shot a Zergling. They have splash damage, and because the Zergling is a melee unit, the Zergling can never clear out the mines for free, so the Vulture is truly an S-tier counter to the Zergling. Next we have the Goliath, and the Goliath is a little bit like the Marine. Both are ranged units. For the price of 1 Goliath you get 3 Marines, and 1 Goliath has a little bit more HP and it has 1 armor compared to the Marine, but the Goliath has a way lower DPS than the Marine. So overall, I think it is a little bit worse than the Marine. And I mean, again, the Goliath is very weak in small numbers because the Zerglings can get a surround, but the Goliath is actually okay against Zerglings if you have a couple of them. So I think B tier is fine. The Siege Tank has explosive damage. It deals just 50% damage to small units like the Zergling, but doesn't really matter because the tank in tank mode deals 70 damage. You reduce this to 50%, you get 35 damage. This means that the tank still one-shot the Zergling, and the tank also has a bit of splash damage, which is nice against Zerglings. But it is still not a strong unit because the Zerglings are very fast at closing the distance to the tank, and once the Zerglings are in melee range, the tank cannot attack the Zergling because the tank has a minimum range of 2, and even worse, and other tanks are going to try to attack the Zerglings and are going to cause a lot of friendly fire. And this is really devastating to the tanks. So I mean, the tank is a C tier counter to the Zergling. And next we have the Wraith. So yeah, the Zergling doesn't have anti-air, so that's of course good for the Wraith, but the anti-ground damage output of the Wraith is super low. It just has a DPS of 7 against ground, and it is not cheap. So for the price of 1 Wraith, you get 10 Zerglings, and this means that the Wraith just deals too little damage to reliably clear out Zergling attacks. You can produce the Zerglings more quickly than the Wraith can kill them. So yes, it is an air unit, but because the DPS of the Wraith is so low, I'm just going to put it into B tier. Next we have the Valkyrie. This doesn't have an anti-ground attack. It's a D tier counter to the Ling. And next we have the Science Vessel. So if we look at the spells of the Science Vessel, number 1, Defensive Matrix is okay. It's not Zergling specific, but it gives one of your units additional HP. It's always usable. Next we have the Irradiate. This is very bad against the Zergling. I mean, it is usable against Zerglings, but it is very wasteful because Irradiate removes up to 250 HP from an enemy biological unit, but the Zergling just has 35 HP. So using Irradiate against Lings is a huge waste. And the third spell, EMP, is of course useless because Lings don't have any magical energy. So overall, it's a pretty weak counter to the Ling, but it's not useless. It's a C tier. Next, you have the Battle Cruiser, and the Battle Cruiser, I think, is very similar to the Wraith in the regard of countering Lings. Yes, it is a flying unit, and Lings don't have anti-air, so the BC will kill them. But again, for the price of the BC, its damage output is extremely low. So the BC costs 700 resources. For the price of 1 BC, you get, I think the number is 28 Zerglings or something. So you can produce the Zerglings more quickly than the Battle Cruiser can destroy them. So yeah, it is a flying unit with anti-ground, but it is very slow at killing Lings. It's a B tier. And next we have the turret. This is of course a D tier, doesn't have anti-ground. And next we have the bunker, and the bunker is very good, but it's also dependent on positioning. So I mean, if you position the bunker just somewhere in the open so that the Zerglings can get a surround on the bunker will fall quickly. But then again, if you place the bunker, for example, close to a depot, so that the Zerglings cannot get a surround on the bunker is very strong. And especially if you put fire bats into the bunker, a bunker with fire bats inside is nearly unbeatable for Zerglings. So I'm going to put the bunker into S tier. Alright dudes, thanks for watching.